Welcome to Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. My name is Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe. Our objective is to enthuse, inspire, energize, and empower entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of all stripes here in BW and beyond. We do so by inviting these entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs into our makeshift studio. Sometimes we call them to the restaurant, sometimes we go to our studio, and we ask them to share their experiential knowledge, their experiences and their expertise, and we ask them as many questions as we can, aimed at empowering you also as a viewer. Hello dear listener, dear viewer, my name is Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. We do our best to bring you impactful, new and life-changing content each and every time. And this time we've brought an entrepreneur with a difference. We brought an artist to the studio, and I welcome to the studio Mr. Thato Khomela. Mr. Khomela, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. What a privilege it is. It is what a privilege. I'm very thankful, sir.
Okay. It is very rare that I invite an artist who happens to be an entrepreneur to the studio. So I think the starting point for our listeners is to know who you are and what you do before we start talking about this wonderful art that you've created.
Yes, sir. Thank you. My name is Thato Khomela, and I'm an artist, but I'm first an entrepreneur. Thank you.
And how did you get into art, and what's your definition of art? Is it just a matter of taking some crayons and drawing up? I'd really want to know what your craft is about. Calling yourself an artist, what does that mean?
Basically, my job is to preserve heritage. An artist captures a moment in time. We capture a lifestyle. We capture a culture. The way we even speak, the way we talk, the way we dress. So my job is really a huge one, if I may say, capturing a moment in time. So what I do here basically is try to capture the lifestyle of Botswana, Wasiki. That's my job, sir.
Okay. Yeah. What is your arrangement with black? I see that you're having an exhibition in black currently.
Oh, yes. We're currently having an exhibition. We're showing works from the Secret Collection, Thato Khomela's Secret Collection, we call it. So it's going on right now at Black. We try to show out and show off at the same time, sir.
Okay.
So that's where you can find things like, Mosadi Mogolo ko hae, o rele nkwana. You get the Tswana stories, We are going to tell our stories, and it's only the beginning. Let's just hope and we pray that it will go where we want it to go.
Tell me, how long have you been an artist? How long have you been dabbling in art?
Oh, that's always a weird question, because I always want to take people back to when I was in standard 4. I made a brilliant drawing of jelly, jelly, and it was fountain shaped. So people were amazed at how it came out and how, aesthetically pleasing it was at that age. So that really got me to think about it at a level where I felt like, okay, maybe this is something. Maybe, it's a path I can, because, as kids, we are always looking for something to follow. We're always fascinated by stuff. So just from that moment, for me, that was a moment where I was like, I started really to key in. Into
You mentioned culture. I'd like to double click there for a moment to go back to that aspect, culture, to say, what are you trying to communicate about our culture? What is it that is really at the heart of your inspiration in terms of pursuing culture?
Culture is a very precious commodity, and I'm really trying to sell it to the world. That's what I'm really trying to do. I believe culture is heritage, and we need to preserve it in the best way that we can. I'm not going to complain and say the government is not doing enough or point fingers at anyone. What we are doing here is we are trying to educate your everyday Motswana. We are trying to inform, even try to teach the government that this is how we want to display our culture, this is how we want to reserve it, and it's our job. We are not saying come and help us. And that's basically what we're trying to prove. The exhibition at Black, it was totally, like, it wasn't funded by anybody. It wasn't really sponsored in any monetary form. It was straight.
Black sponsored a little aspect of it.
Exactly. And, we are saying we don't really have to lean on the government. We as Botswana, I'm trying to do this. I have this and you have that. Can we come to a common understanding and help each other out without really trying to lean too much on anybody or the government?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Some people may ask, or artists made or artists born? By that, I mean, is it a luck component, or do you have to develop your craft? Is it something that you just stumbled across, if you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you very much. I like that question. I believe we all have talents. Everybody, each and every one of us has a talent. And we just have to engage in discovering it and developing it into a skill. And we can only do that through hard work. I like to say to Botswana, particularly the young people, that it's not enough to be good anymore. You have to be extraordinary. You have to work hard at whatever it is that God has given you. And you have to hit really, really hard to get what you want out of life. So it is possible. I'm a living testament that it's possible, So that's the story, basically. So
you're probably our Picasso here in Botswana in terms of being very original, being born here.
Yes, sir.
Who would you say is the one artist that has inspired your craft the most?
Like I pointed out earlier, I think I was first an entrepreneur before I was an artist. I've always had the mind, a curious mind, because that's what an entrepreneur is, I believe. So before I even discovered that I was good at drawing at Standard 4, I knew that there was something that I'm made to do. There was something that I need to discover before all that. So I believe with, hard work and determination, we can do anything really.
So there's not a particular artist that has influenced your craft?
Drive into that. We believe as, being authentic, first of all. Originality is identity.
Okay. Originality is identity. I like that.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So we need to be as authentic as possible. And I always try to talk to, my colleagues or my friends, young people as me, whenever I get the chance, that you really have to be authentic to stand out. You can't be, God has placed a unique destiny in each and every one of us. So it's up to us to pursue it the best way we see it. So again, to the young man, to the young lady, Motswana ko lapeng, search within. This is a journey of self-discovery. So what I'm trying to do here is try to show you that you can do it as well. So please, let's join hands, collaborate, and let's take it. Let's blow the roof with it.
Well, using these two pieces here as a talking point or as examples, what is the message you are seeking to communicate here and then here?
Thank you very much. The painting behind you there, I named it Potter's Hands. And the lady behind me is actually a real person, a real lady. Khomela lady. It's a small village in Tswapong. And the Manaledi, they're known for the culture of making traditional pots because they have, that heritage in that place. They have the soil there. It comes refined. It doesn't have to go through refining. It comes raw like that. So they have good soil there, and they've engaged throughout the years. They've engaged in this revolution of, pot making. And they're very brilliant. And we're privileged to have a project there. We're developing, the Khotla. We're making mural work on the Khotla walls. So this lady was kind enough to let us photograph her and use her image.
Wonderful. This one seems, I don't know, she's smiling or laughing?
ecstatic. She was happy.
Yeah.
She was happy to see, young people coming to make a difference. We are trying to make a difference in the village.
Okay.
Yes.
And how long would something like this take you to create? This piece, for instance, and this piece.
Well, it depends on inspiration, really. When you are inspired enough, I believe. When I'm talking to the team, I always try to say, you have to beat your record time, for us to say, okay, you are good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, you have to be extraordinary. It's not enough to be good anymore.
Yeah.
So when the inspiration
I'd
is
like to say that these are extraordinary pieces. I'm very impressed.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
suitably impressed. But go ahead.
Thank you very much. So it depends on the inspiration per time. So sometimes when I have, inspiration enough, like I traveled to Manaledi, for example, that whole story of that village was inspiration enough. Because remember, we are trying to get the stories raw from the culture. So that was inspiration enough for me to just jump in. I couldn't wait to get home and jump on the canvas.
Wow.
And it went like, within a few hours it was done. And then sometimes when you go for days on a painting, you find that the inspiration wasn't enough.
Yeah. So inspiration is what makes the difference.
Inspiration,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Let's still on that point of inspiration. Sometimes it's difficult to convert your passion to cash, to monetize your talent. So you as an artist, what has been your experience in terms of turning the passion to cash, monetizing it?
Thank you very much for that question. I need to give credit. I need to appreciate the Ministry of Youth, because that's how I my success. That's how I sort of made my break. At a time, I remember 2015, 2016, they were engaging artists, local artists, on mural projects, like public art projects. So I was privileged enough from participating in one of their exhibitions prior. I was privileged enough to be selected amongst the artists that were taking part in the projects. So that's how I say I started to realize that, okay, this can actually be turned into a business. Not just something that you do.
Not just a hobby.
Not just a hobby. Or I realized, okay, now you can turn this into like real business and you can make actually real money. So that's how we are trying to go independent. And we're not saying we are not good with the ministry anymore. We are perfectly. They are still engaging us. They are our friends, and they encourage us wherever they can. But the main point here is that we're trying to encourage our young people that you can really do it with nothing. And permit me to say, you don't need money to make the money. Yes, sir.
Because there's a misconception that money makes money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's not the case with
Okay.
me. Yes. So with the path that I was going through, I've realized that you don't really need the money. It's about the passion. When you have the passion and you make an effort, not a monetary effort, but you standing up to say, let me go and meet Mogobe. Let me go and greet Marcel for my sake. That alone will take you a long way. Yes, I just had to throw that in there.
Okay, no, I appreciate that answer, because sometimes people expect things to fall from the sky. Now, your work, how has it impacted the art landscape in Botswana? I see that you have an exhibition here like we talked earlier, but how would you say nationally your work has impacted the landscape?
Yeah. I believe we are trying, and we tried to impact the lives of other artists. Because remember when the government was engaging us in 2015, 2016 with the public art, we were doing Safalana, your silos in several villages.
Oh, that was you.
That was us.
I didn't know.
Yes, sir.
That was beautiful work.
Thank you very much. So we were sent on those villages to go and, together with the local artists, to put something on the walls, like we're saying, going back to the issue of heritage. And we are actually directly now attaching it to, archives of our culture. Wow. So that's what we are trying in that regard. And then also, every fortnight, through an organization called Bound by Love.
Bound by Love
organization. It's a charity, like a self-sponsored charity organization. So every fortnight we go out and meet Banaba Mogobe engineer through the school there. So Mem Madipulo, the school head, has allowed us to, make that platform whereby you carry out talks, motivational talks. We also do tutorials. We also do soft skill development sessions. So that's what we are trying on that regard as well. So it's proving to be very, very beneficial to the kids, and it's adding value to the kids there.
What are the current trends? What current trends are you following in terms of maybe nationally and internationally? Is there a pattern, or is there something that you can share with the viewer in that regard?
You can't deny the impact that has been done by contemporary art. Art is shaking the world. Like contemporary art is shaking the industry right now, just globally. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to see. We can even see other like local artists being, following that trend, and just some.
What's contemporary art? Is it like graffiti?
Contemporary art is.
I'm exposing my ignorance.
Well, contemporary art is basically, we can say, modern art. You know how now we are not going for realism anymore. We're not trying to be rigid.
Is that abstract art?
It's half abstract, and then again, it's free into the mind. So it's modern art.
Okay.
Yes. So sometimes we have a brush where like a whole painting is all white, and then you have a yellow brush running it down, and then the painting is done.
Oh.
Contemporary art.
And so you are able to read something to that?
So when you put it in a building such as this one, or in a restaurant such as this one, it works well with your interior. It goes well with your chair. So the yellow, maybe you have a yellow theme around your restaurant.
So that blends into the internal architecture of the design.
Exactly.
Interior design of the building. Oh, I see.
So that's a perfect example of contemporary art. So yeah. So it breaks the rules in that regard. You can just have a brush stroke.
I have it on good authority that you want to hit the global market.
Oh, yes.
Can you elaborate on that a bit more?
Oh, yes. Focused again on the authenticity of our stories. Nobody can tell our stories like we do. So as a Motswana, wana was Tswana.
What's gay?
Motswana was gay. I believe I'm one of the best people to tell our stories.
Yeah.
And nobody else can, beat that. And I believe globally, people are looking for something different. People buy into something new, something different, something that they've never seen before. So that's sort of the approach. We are going to hit them with our story and the originality of it in its originality. And, like all these paintings here, they're actually real people. They're real Botswana, but they do exist in Botswana, but So all these paintings, you can trace the people, the models on them to Botswana to see, okay, this is an actual person. Because we always try to have a rationale whenever we're having exhibitions. We always try to have like a backstory printed on the side of the painting. Yeah. So that's our approach.
To the viewer who might be excited by the art and wanting to see more, tell them about when this exhibition is ending, and then when next you plan to have another exhibition of this kind.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We are planning to have these exhibitions as often as possible. So we're looking at maybe every 2 months we have an exhibition. Maybe every 3 months we have an exhibition.
Speaking for Black, you're more than welcome to come back every 3 months.
I hope everyone is looking. Deal sealed. So thank you very much. Yeah. We are looking to have exhibitions, a series of exhibitions. This is like the beginning of a great start. We have planned out a series of exhibitions which are going to be run in different places. Black, we appreciate. We are always going to be coming back here. And the plan is just to, flood the market because currently it's silent. And most of us creatives were saying, we don't have the money, COVID this, COVID that. Yes, you need to appreciate that and take cautions, but you still have to move forward because it's like there's a wave of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
It's like there's a wave. I always try to talk to my team that you need to catch this ride. Catch this ride because this train is leaving with or without you.
Yes, that's true. That's very true.
So
I've
people
actually said it to some people that the train is leaving the station if you don't take it. All right. Now, where can the people find you? What communication platforms are you available at?
Oh yeah, we're starting to be more active on Facebook and Instagram. So on Facebook, under the name Thato Khomela, people can check out the page, like the page, and they're free to share, whatever they see that they like in there. We're trying to build a community there, and also on Instagram under the handle Thato Khomela. So yeah, we're trying, and it's starting off well, I must say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as we conclude, can you tell people what's in the pipeline, and apart from the exhibitions you mentioned, what's in the pipeline? Because a thought occurred to me that some artists actually, interact with the market to the point where you can actually create art based on what your client may have in mind. Do you get to your point? Not a simple question of just a picture. Here's a picture of me, but going a little deep. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So people, sometimes artists will try. Let me put it this way. What we're doing, the team and I here, we are trying to build a blueprint. A blueprint where an artist, any other artist, not just Thato Khomela, any other artist can come in and say, I would like to have something set up, something similar to what you have with Black. I would like to launch myself as an artist. So we are open to people, like you're saying, we are trying to empower Botswana waseke. There's a kid right now academically, and on another hand, we excel like arte. So there's talent there, and we are trying to say we are building a platform for you. So we have things put together. We have platforms that we're still working on. We are putting together for the upcoming artists, so they can expect anything from your painting competitions, your from the top of my mind, picnics, and just even going corporate. Art can really go anywhere, and I believe as creatives, we there's so much we can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we conclude, I'd like you to look at the camera and speak once again to that young Botswana entrepreneur, someone who may not be so talented on the sciences and be biased towards the arts. And based on your example, give them one parting message, something to take away as a message of encouragement, inspiration, something to take away. So this is a time for you to share with the listener, take away message.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Firstly, I would like to say to Botswana in general that let's be open-minded enough to accommodate the thought that art might be worth so much more than we think currently. Let us open our minds up to the possibility that art could be our solution to any social ills or any, right now we have problems, diverse problems like, mental health issues. Art could be the solution. So if we can just open our minds enough to accommodate that education, because we are bringing it and we are going to bring it. Now, to the young Botswana, young man, young lady, the world is yours and everything in it. It's up to you to stand up and go and get it. Because at the end of the day, it's your actions that will yield the result. It's not your talent. It's not your ideas. You need to stand up and do it yourself. Let's go together on this journey, and I promise you, it will be worth a while. Thank you very much.
It remains for me, Mr. Khomela, to say that I recognize you. I see you. I see that you're an ambitious young man. You have every reason to succeed, and I wish you the very, very best. And if we here at Black and as part of Mogobe Incorporated group of companies can assist, we're available for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
All right.